The SEC has until October 18th to either approve or reject the Grayscale XRP ETF, according to the 240-day period. So yes, they do love to drag this out, but you know what people buy? They buy rumors before something actually takes place. So what are people expecting? There to be an XRP ETF approval. And listen to what Bitwise's CIO had to say about this.
One more thing before we go. We saw earlier this week that the SEC formally acknowledged Bitwise's application for a spot XRP ETF. Now, I know you can't talk about the specific application, but I'm wondering if you can talk about what you've heard in terms of demand for an XRP ETF in particular. Obviously, there was less demand for an ETH ETF than a Bitcoin one, but there is increasing adoption. So what's the scope look like for an XRP fund?
Yeah, I would say two things on that front, without talking about the Bitwise filing specifically, as you mentioned. One, I think there's substantial demand for an XRP ETF. XRP has had a sustained community for an extremely long period of time. It's an asset that trades significantly on centralized exchanges. I think people would love to find a way to hold it in a simple, low cost, easy to use ETP structure. And I will say the second piece is the SEC is much more receptive to discussions under the new administration than they were in the past. In the previous administration, the door would simply be shut. There was no way to discuss things like staking or in-kind or maybe new assets. I think, and I can tell you that has completely changed. They're much more open to dialogue. So I'm optimistic we're going to see, XRP ETFs, Solana ETFs. I think the killer app in this space will actually be an index-based ETF. I think a lot of people want to just make a generalized bet on crypto, and I'm hopeful we get that at the end of this year as well. So count me as optimistic.
And this just in, Grayscale's XRP ETF has been officially published in the Federal Register. WisdomTree filed an S1 application for its spot XRP ETF. And listen to what Monica Long said about an XRP ETF.
Right now, this is available on Bitso, MoonPay, CoinMina, additional listings coming on Bullish, Mercado Bitcoin, and others. What about a huge platform like Coinbase and others, for example? When does that happen?
We are continuing to expand distribution and availability of Ripple dollars on other exchanges. So I think you can expect to see more availability, more announcements coming soon.
How soon?
Imminently.
Well, we'll look out for that. What about in terms of adoption? How big do you expect this to get in the next year realistically? I mean, do you have a baseline kind of projection on how big it could get based on the adoption you're talking about with clients? Do you think large institutions are using this? Who's using it?
So, I mean, if we look at the crypto landscape overall, I mean, it has certainly been, the market's been growing in the past couple quarters. And, we think that this year is going to be a big year for crypto overall. And so demand for stable coins, we think will grow along with that. As you mentioned, I mean, it's really the way to on-ramp and off-ramp. It's also used as a key asset in trading. So we think that the market's going to grow tremendously over the course of the next year. Our demand from within our client base, our business doubled within payments last year. And so we see a really strong growth trajectory for our payment solution. And with that, Ripple US dollar will have a premium role.
Monica, what about other asset types? You've seen a lot of interest when it comes to ETFs tied to cryptocurrencies. A lot of questions around whether you could see an ETF tied to spot XRP. What kind of discussions are you having with people about this? Do you think we'll see one soon?
I think we will see one very soon. I think that we will see more, various crypto spot ETFs this year coming out of the U.S. And I think XRP is likely to be next in line after Bitcoin and ETH. There's already been a number of different companies like Canary and others who have filed. And so we think, especially with the administration change, and that the approvals of those filings will accelerate.
So we have the lawsuit still in question for Ripple's XRP. We see the SEC dropping Coinbase's lawsuit. Ripple versus the SEC is next. It's inevitable. And XRP ETF is inevitable. The crypto market never ceases to amaze me every single day. It seems like we take one step in positive direction, sometimes 2 steps back in a negative direction, then 5 steps forward in a positive direction, 1 step back in a negative direction. But overall in the macro, we keep trending in the positive direction. Now, yesterday, FTX stolen funds started to get returned to the creditors, and then today Bybit funds got stolen. So we're definitely living in the matrix. Now, some people just have super bad luck because they're not subscribed to the channel and they're not paying attention to what I'm going to share with you in this video to help you protect yourself from hacks like this. This person right here finally got their FTX payout. It's been a long 2.5 years, but glad to have the money back. Just deposited onto Bybit. What are we longing? And just like what Sam Bankman-Fried said, where everything is safe on FTX, we now have the CEO of Bybit, Ben, saying this.
Meaning that if even today, all of the Bybit client withdraw, we can give your withdrawals. With regard to the act amount, which is around 400,000 ETH, even the Bybit treasury, we can cover that. So no matter what, we will make sure all of the clients' money are safe. So your money is safe. Our withdrawal is still open. And some of the withdrawals might take a bit of time as we are go through the regular checks. But we are aiming at processing all the withdrawals within a few hours. Okay, so I want to rest assured that.
And he also posted saying that Bybit is solvent. Even if this hack loss is not recovered, all of clients' assets are one-to-one backed. We can cover the loss. Now, 15th largest Ethereum holder in the world. So stole everyone's funds, put it into Ethereum. They now hold roughly 0.42% of the total supply, more than Fidelity, Vitalik, and 2x plus what the Ethereum Foundation holds. And Arkham Intelligence said that they created and funded a bounty to help identify the person or organization behind the $1 billion hack. And so they received a bunch of submissions. The reward was $50K in Arkham. And Zach XBT submitted proof that this attack on Bybit was performed by what's called the Lazarus Group. So Cointelegraph is saying this is from North Korea, and Park Jin Hoyok is the mastermind behind the hack. He's already linked to 1.73 billion in stolen funds, and if this is confirmed, his total heist could surpass 3.1 billion. He's also known for his famous Sony attack in 2014 in Bangladesh for his $1 billion heist. So he's wanted by the FBI, which is absolutely crazy. So go through the ironclad crypto security strategy and protect yourself at all costs, guys, because the crypto market is very risky. Yes, you can make a lot of money in these markets, but you can certainly lose all of your gains and more if you do not properly protect yourself. Look at this. Now China is saying there's some new pandemic about to hit. They're releasing some other thing from some lab out there. So whether it's from bats, rats, or a test tube, now stocks are falling. Crypto has been dumping over the past 24 hours, with XRP pulling back 6%, Bitcoin holding it together pretty well, only 2%. It's just another day in paradise for us who have been through multiple bull runs. So 24 to 48 hours from right now, everyone will forget about this and people will move on because alt season has begun. So we are not seeing a direct Bitcoin to altcoin rotation right now because stablecoin holders are favoring alts. Alts volume is 2.7x Bitcoin's, and Bitcoin's dominance is not currently defining alt season. Trading volume is. So right now it's a very selective alt season because in my video yesterday that you guys can check out after this one, I talked about the normal path to alt season. This is not a normal alt season because usually it's phase one into Bitcoin and then money starts flowing into Ethereum before it goes into the large caps. Well, this bull run cycle, we saw Bitcoin go, then we saw an AI bull run, we saw a gaming bull run, we saw real world assets run, we see the ISO standard projects like XRP HBAR run, and they skipped Ethereum. So this bull run is a very selective alt season. That's why it's important to do your own research to pick the right projects, because while most people, bought into Ethereum and have just been waiting for Ethereum to run, you guys could have joined Altcoin Pro University and gotten this information back in December from Yoni from our research team about 10 altcoins to have on your radar this cycle. One of them was Sui. It was called Underneath $1. This is just an update post on these projects. We have Hype, Tau, Virtual, Pepe, Mog was called on the day of launch, and Aerodrome Finance was called early as well too. So we are in an alt season right now. In fact,